Lucasfilm, except a little bit in the beginning about Kenobi. I was not shocked by that. I know some people were actually kind of looking forward to it, but you didn't get what you wanted. I'm not gonna cry about it myself because I didn't expect him to say anything about anything. I noticed a lot of people in Valiant Renegades chat were bitching that he didn't mention anything. He's not gonna. All right, he's not. He's not gonna, air dirty laundry in a public place with Morgan Stanley, J.P. Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank. He's just not gonna do that. So if you're asked, hey, Dave, how you doing? So if you're asking why he didn't mention it, how come he didn't mention it, it's because that's the time and place. All right. He did mention Kenobi, gave it kind of a, but mostly it was Marvel when that was at the beginning of the session. Talked about streaming numbers. They did do well, but they're splitting. They're not going to meet that number that Bob Iger pulled out his ass 2 years ago. They're just not for the streaming to catch up by 2024. They split Disney Plus and Disney Plus Hotstar into two separate categories, which, when you think about it, is probably the best way to go. There were some things they talked about that I didn't understand. Talked a lot about ESPN and how important that network is. Talked a lot about gambling. In adult Disney, there probably is going to be a place to place bets. Eventually, it is coming. So, all in all, it was good. I think earnings call. Their stocks went up hugely. Let's look. Okay, Disney stock right now. Come on. Okay. The reason this is because I want you guys to understand that the big investors, so closed at up 9%, almost 4%. And yeah, that was good. I hope it's not choppy. If it is, I'll reboot it. I mean, I'll just delete this, and then if it continues to be choppy, let me know. One takeaway: no real mentions of content coming in the future. No mentions at all about Lucasfilm, except for Kenobi, and nothing about Andor. He said nothing about that. They talked a lot at the end about peak loss, and this is going to be the year for it. Okay. So this is an earning call, kind of negative and positive stuff going on. The fact that the big investors felt like, yeah, this is pretty good, tells me that what we're worried about, what people are worried about, is probably nothing that can be that can't be fixed. Okay, the numbers people like. I mean, you've got Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank, and I'm like, I had no idea what they were asking. I didn't know what it meant. But and I'm going to say this: they're not interested in they're not interested in. I'm talking about they're not interested. Thanks, Dave. In Lucasfilm or Marvel, they're interested in the parks. And I didn't write this down, but I think I remember the number. I believe that Disneyland Paris was up 38% visitors. Okay. I mean, that is a fucking unprecedented number there. I do know that. And that was really impressive. Yeah, and it's, look, when you've got, you know, everybody's seen every Disney movie. You know, Cross Element, people in Europe have been, basically locked in their apartments for a year and a half. And even last year, it was touch and go. So the idea that they just said, fuck it, let's go to Disneyland, hey, can't really blame them. We do know, no one had asked us, but we do know that there will be no Galaxy's Edge at Paris Disney. There won't. Probably costs too much, and there's no real clamor for it. I mean, okay. So he didn't say a word about Andor. Didn't say anything about the Parental Rights Act or Reimagine Tomorrow woke stands. He didn't say anything about Kathleen Kennedy, of course, and he's not going to. I mean, yeah, it does. I mean, the films are there, and this is Walt Disney's philosophy to bring people to the parks. Okay, that's why the films are there. And a lot of the negative stuff that we know about, that we've all, I mean, every YouTuber's made videos ad nauseum, didn't talk about it. You don't talk about that stuff in an investment like this. I mean, BlackRock, and again, Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank. You're not gonna say, well, I had Kathy into the office the other day and she agreed to resign or retire on the 31st of October. He's not gonna make that announcement. And when that announcement comes, it's gonna be full of pomp and circumstance with the big weepy, oh, we're gonna miss her. And then in the next breath, and we welcome whomever to the Disney fold as the next president of Lucasfilm. Look, she just got back from a 40-day vacation again, and I'm this last weekend. I'm going to pound that into everybody's head, how huge that was. Again, I went and looked through Instagram, through Twitter, and I saw nothing like that the last 2 years of Instagram. So obviously, this was a thing that they had planned to do. And when I was like, all right, I kept looking, going, she's been gone 2 weeks, then 3 weeks. And then I'm like, oh my God, she's been gone a month. And then it got to 40 days, and then, they were back in Malibu. Any sense to leave your job that long unless somebody else is starting to come in. Okay. I know people don't want to believe it. I'm going to be honest. I was in the chat, Valiant Renegade, and there are a lot of people who just don't understand how things are done. I mean, there are times I'm like, this is a reason why you're a cash register clerk at a 7-Eleven and not asking Bob Chapek questions and working for Credit Suisse, okay? What the hell, why are you asking that? When you're told, look, I've said it, Cameron said it, Valiant Renegade said it, WW Pro said it, Andre said it. You're not going to get him to tell you anything about what's really going on at Lucasfilm or Marvel at an investor's call. So stop wasting my breath, stop wasting our time asking that and being childish. Okay? Not. you get a sense where the company's going. Um, from an Aaron's call. Okay. Again, we rely on just how important the parks are, events, and that kind of thing. He did not mention the Disney Cruiser, the Star Wars, that hotel. Okay. And it has disappeared off the map, by the way. No one is talking about it. Okay, nobody. It's like it's like it doesn't even exist anymore. He didn't talk about any specific parts of the parks. They did talk about the new ship. They have 5 now, the Disney Wish. And actually, the Wish has a better Star Wars experience on it than Galaxy's Edge or that stupid hotel. I'm not kidding. I've seen video. I'm like, really? Really? I would go on that. I would go. I would do that before I you know, I mean, you'd find me on top of the Falcon taking its stupid square sensor dish off and throwing it and putting the right one on. You know, it's just, again, there's not a whole lot of negative. They did talk about peak loss and this quarter, and then the next quarter, the fourth quarter ends in 6 weeks on September 30th. Was it 31st? Okay. And we're now getting to a place right now where a lot of people coming and going. This is usually between the middle of August and the end of October is when you see executives leave and go. Yeah, I'd be up there with a sledgehammer. Me and Kojak, he'd be guarding me as I was swinging that thing. And my horse would be down there killing people and biting people. And she's real big, so people would be like running away. We're coming up to something, I think. D23. Yes, and that would be awesome, Cross Element. There's going to be a lot of, I sent the article that I talked about in today's video to Cameron. There's been a lot of announcements, but barely any mention, really, of Lucasfilm at all. We've got Andor coming out on the 21st of September, the first 3 episodes, and I've got the schedule. If I remember, I'll put it up in the community page so you guys can see it. Here's the deal. When you let a woke moron watch your show, he's going to say stupid woke shit. And now there's somebody, and I think Star Wars Theory actually read the article in a video that he put out. And I didn't watch the whole video because I as much as I love him, he's kind of like Asmer, and then like, I gotta say this. The person he was quoting, hey Big Al, how you doing? The person he was quoting was saying the fans are gonna hate it. We've got Fiona Shaw bitching about Trump, when actually after it's the other way around. It's the other way around. Okay, somebody's out of control, not us. All right. Now you've got this idiot saying the fans are going to hate it. I'm going to encourage you to watch the first 3 episodes. Okay, I'm going to encourage you to watch it. And the reason simply is this. If you don't at least give it a chance, you're probably going to miss something. and you won't have much of a conversation, and you won't have much to talk about. Okay, and that's, in my opinion, very important. So I'm going to encourage you guys to watch it. I just set up Disney Plus on my TV. So I'm going to be up early that morning watching it on TV. And, we'll see if I like it or not. I mean, look, my thing is this. I think I have enough respect for the people that do special effects at ILM to give them an opportunity. Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, that part, interconnect, that's the thing I was talking about. It's like, why would you say that? Why? The fans are gonna hate it? Don't you want people to watch this? I mean, look, we already got Fiona Shaw, setting fire to it. It's one of those things where if I was running Lucasfilm and I would, first off, I'd never have the idiot in my movies. I mean, I can't, I've never been able to stand her. I think she's gross. I mean, in that scene that they show her in, she just looks like she smells. I'm sorry. And I just like get her on Zoom, get her on the phone. I want to talk to her. And then I would tear her a new one. And I would call up the showrunner, I would call up the director and the editor and saying, I want her part cut down as much as possible. Okay? I don't want to see her in any more than is necessary. And the reason simply is she fucked us over by opening up her big mouth. Okay? And throwing her nonsense into it. I really, Star Wars, if you watch, just, she looks like she smells. And that hair, it's like, do you ever take a bath? Do you ever wash? Stay away from me, weirdo. If you ever watch, if you've ever seen Revenge of the Sith, somebody has, watch what's going on there. You should be able to think about any time in world history and look at what's going on and be able to see and understand. The fact that she had to bring a now victimized former president into this, and yes, I don't care if you're anti-Trump, sending the FBI in on a dog and pony show thing like that is bullshit. That's Gestapo tactics. Okay? And if Governor had known that was happening, they would have been met by state police and they would have turn around and walk away. They gotta let him in. Okay. Trying to make it so he can't run for president again. Meanwhile, his fundraising just exploded because of it. What a good idea. You made people who were growing lukewarm on him go, I'm going to vote for him now. Okay? Good job. But you don't ever get in your enemy's way when they're making a mistake. Okay? Anyway, enough of that. You should be able to look at stuff and not be dragged into the present shit that's going on. You don't go to Star Wars, go, that's just like Trump, or that's like Biden. I don't want to see Biden. I don't want to hear that name when I go to a movie. I don't want to hear Trump. I don't even want to hear his name. It's bullshit to do that. And she did it. And it's like, and again, Chapek didn't say anything about Andor at all. We've got to wait for now less than, what is the date today? August 10th. About a month till we find out what's going on with what else they're going to announce. Um, Nothing that, again, he's not going to air dirty laundry. He's not going to talk about firing Peter Rice. He's not going to talk about those bullshit artists from Reimagine Tomorrow. He's not going to talk about, hey, Winslow, how you doing? Welcome to the show. He's not going to talk about that. Okay, he's not going to. And he talked about the parks, talked about the streaming numbers, and that add tier number to an ad tier base to Disney Plus. It's going to be on December 8th, which I won't. Valiant Renegade, I think he said that they're trying to get people to go to the ad based tier. Why have streaming then? Just have the Disney Channel. Okay. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to watch, an episode of Kenobi or Mandalorian season 3 and then have, hi, I'm Jimmy's mom. We bought, it's like, no, okay. I don't want to see it, okay. I will pay the $10. I don't care, all right, about that. And I don't want to see it. I mean, maybe eventually I'll go to the ad-based tier, but not right now. But that's about it. I mean, really, it was, Tom was bored. Always gets bored during earnings calls, and people were complaining that, he's not like Zach. It's like he's reading from a script, right? He's not, off the cuff. And Zaslav was reading off a script too. They're two different people. Okay, Zaslav didn't work his way up the ladder at Warner Brothers. But Warner Brothers, okay, he now kind of is to fix it. It's a little different. Now, he does have the board of directors behind him, and this is going to give him, I think, this earnings call is going to give him more leverage to start cleaning up stuff. And, as much as we want to see certain people get fired, Kennedy, you're not going to see her get fired. I wouldn't doubt that we'll hear that there was a discussion with her after the Peter Rice firing. When is she going to retire? Okay. Look, again, the thing that sticks up there like a great big, the elephant in the room is that 40-day gap. What the fuck was that about? She's a president of a film studio and she's gone for 40 days. Granted, you have an iPhone. You have Zoom calls. I don't care. Okay. You got to be on the ground to run that place. And you can't micromanage or macromanage it. Okay. You got to be there. And it's not like she's lucky like George was with Steve McCallum, Rick McCallum, I should say, backing him up. George wanted to go on a vacation. He could leave and McCallum would be there, barking orders at people. I can't imagine Lynn Brennan, who I've actually seen her on TV. She has the personality of a bottle of granite cleaner. It's like, okay. I can't imagine her fixing a problem when it comes up. I can imagine those broads doing that, but that's my opinion. So we got, I think, a very mundane earnings call. The parks numbers were out of this world, but again, as much as the big investors like to talk about the parks, you still have the film studios not producing. Basically Doctor Strange, I think it broke better than even, I think. But then you had, what else came out? Thor: Love and Thunder. Lightyear. Okay? You know, and something has to be done. And the big investors can you know, poo-poo that, and it's wrong to do that, in my opinion. Okay? Again, I've said this before, I'll say this again. If one part of your company isn't its way, and you got to take money from another company to fill in the gap, I don't think that's a good business model. Okay, it's in my opinion, it is not. And we know eventually something will be done. I do think getting rid of Peter Rice was the shot, the right hit. Pakistanians, Kennedy, Fauci, and those idiots from the videos, but they never saw it coming. They never saw it coming. And now we got, you know, Kareem Daniel mentioned in Deadline doing some sort of symposium or something. There's a lot going on. And unlike David Zaslav, Bob Chapek, because it's Disney, again, is not going to put all this stuff out there for everybody to talk about. Okay? Now, do I expect The Acolyte to be made? They keep talking about it. He did not talk about The Acolyte. All right? Now, do I expect them to make any announcement about it at D23? I don't know. Okay? I really don't know. But again, when push comes to shove, how meaningful is an announcement when you're looking at dollars and cents? And as good as this earnings call was, Disney is still not doing that well. It's really, really not. And a show like The Acolyte is not going to bring people to want to watch it, to want to see it. You know, the usual suspects from, you know, the Wokestanian channels, you know, will crow it because A, they don't know what good stories are, and B, they don't look for a good plot, they look for representation. How many of this kind of people, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta say, that's the thing about Andor and Vader Fanatic said it was confusing, a very deep, grounded story. The fans are gonna hate it. Rut-row. Okay, what does that mean? You know, which is why I wish I'd been able to see the first 4 episodes, because then I could say it was okay. All right, it was fine. I'm not walking away feeling dirty and insulted. My intellect wasn't insulted, but I didn't. You know, I'm not. That's not what this person said. But again, is this person woke? Probably. And maybe he saw things that weren't there, or maybe we'll see what he saw and interpret it differently. Okay. You know, it doesn't help, I think, when you got, again, activists involved in the community. Okay, and that's the problem for Disney. That's the problem for Pixar. It's the problem for Disney Studios in general, Marvel. Okay, you have to be rooted out and kicked out. If you want to be an activist, go to the Human Rights Campaign, or Equality Florida or some shit like that. But get the fuck out of here. Okay, this is no place for it. And you know, this is the kind of thing that a lot of people who are not serious they'll ask, they talk about the groomers and stuff like that, and it's like, no. Why would he bring that up at this? See, there's a level of childishness, I think, that goes on. people get offended, people get triggered, and then they start, acting like brats. If you're not going to seriously listen to what they have to say, you're not going to put two and two together. Okay. There's a reason why, and I think, Paul Chato, or of all people, basically said something today, and what was it, about Black Canary. He said basically, if this goes on in DC, it's just going to give another 5 years to channels dedicated to hating the show. And people are getting a good living on it. All right, that's the thing. All right, what have I said before? If you take the narrative away from these channels, they won't have anything to talk about. Okay, they've ceased. Look, we have a fandom that ceased being fans. Okay, and I'm probably going to go pretty soon because I'm starting to get whatever. We have to reassess what we're doing, and we have to kind of look at the world differently now. It's not 2018 anymore. Okay, The Last Jedi is gone. It's off in its little hole, never to really be worried about again, except for some spooky weirdos on Twitter and their 5 million bots. The people that were part of it have gone on to other things, even though apparently Oscar Isaac said he'd come back to Star Wars if they had a good script and a good director. No. Fuck you. Stay away from Star Wars, you little maggot. Okay? Stay away. I would tell him that right to his face. You stay the fuck away from Star Wars. And the reason simply is this. You'll have to play a different character. Because there is no Poe Dameron anymore. Doesn't exist in the Star Wars universe. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to go. I want to talk a little bit about this. I give the earnings call a B+. Okay. All right. So this is Steph. And I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you around the galaxy.